When the founding fathers for NACUBO got together and established the association in 1962, they basically had the same goals that we have today. It is the mission of NACUBO to serve business officers writ large. Prior to the formation of NACUBO, there was no national voice to speak out on behalf of business officers and to speak about business practices in higher education. One of the challenges back in the 50s was in dealing with an expanding student population. Those were also the days when the regulation of higher education from Washington, D.C. and the federal government began to grow. There was tremendous growth out of the GI Bill and out of the early stages of baby boomers getting into higher education in the 60s. That caused us all to think about how we could do better on our campuses by collaborating, by looking for partners, by searching for answers amongst our peers, and from people who we wouldn't be in contact with without getting together in a national organization.
The interesting thing about NACUBO is that the member is the institution. And the wonderful thing about that is that that means that everybody who's employed there is, in a sense, a member of NACUBO and is free to participate in NACUBO programs. When new employees come in, often their first introduction to formal education within their new profession is through NACUBO.
Institutions didn't have a roadmap or a manual to go by as to how to do the accounting work. So it really led to the early development of a college and university business manual that gave institutional people the directions as to how they should develop their financial statements.
I think that the most important role that NACUBO plays is professional development.
The development of research about endowment management, about tuition discounting, about student financial aid.
The subscriptions, the publications, the books, the constituent councils, the advocacy efforts.
The resource that we provided for international campuses and the internationalization of higher education.
NACUBO also has those advocates that are on staff. They have a director of accounting, they have a director of tax.
I mean, you can have webinars, you can dial in. It's made the industry, with regards to professional development, much more competitive and much more inviting, and it's probably accessible to many more people. NACUBO has assisted all of us in this profession to elevate our standing as CFOs.
The greatest thing is the networking. I can't begin to tell you how many friends that I have made over the years. Being able to visit with people that share the day-to-day struggles and challenges that you deal with, being able to talk to them, share with them, get ideas from them, and then you become friends, you're lifelong friends.
At community colleges, you're in charge of everything. You're not just a business officer. So I wanted an organization like NACUBO to represent and provide professional development opportunities.
Started way back 40-something years ago, and the mentoring of colleagues through NACUBO was tremendous.
One of the great things about looking back from the perspective of the 50th anniversary is to think about how things have changed.
When I look back, I think number one, it was instrumental in bringing more diversity into the chief business officer workforce. Mary Lay, who was a predominant chief financial officer at Long Island University, became the president of NACUBO back in the mid-70s. And we began to improve our relationships across the country and getting more women into the field.
I can remember the time that Casper Harris, who was a former CFO of Howard University, became the NACUBO president.
The CFO position has changed drastically over the past probably 30+ years.
Today, the scope of control or the scope of responsibility has broadened to include human resources, technology, public safety, physical plant.
We've gotten more involved in capital maintenance, endowment management.
You now have to have a very good understanding of legal issues, environmental control issues, risk management. The greatest challenge right now is the reduction in state funding.
Wow, there are a lot of hot-button issues, but certainly the business model. Is this a sustainable business model? Can tuition continue to go up greater than CPI each year? That is the big question in my mind.
It's important for us to bring efficiencies to our campuses, but also innovations. And in higher education, it's incumbent on the business officers to make sure that our colleges and universities are staying up to speed.
I think it's a noble profession, and I'm glad to have a little part in it.
I am very passionate about higher education. I came out of the accounting industry, and I love doing that work. But the passion that I've developed for higher education, I think it's come about because of the development of business officers over time. We've come from bookkeepers to strategic thinkers and strategic planners. And just face it, we are contributing to the future of this world. We are educating people who are going to lead us and people who are going to replace you and me.
I really respect people that go into private business and bring about the stockholders' benefits and the dividends. But for me, as a business officer in higher education, to me, the real dividend is to see those students come across the platform at commencement exercise, because that's the dividend for society.
As long as resources are a big issue, business officers are going to be a very important player in solving the dilemma of how we do more with less. As long as that's the case, NACUBO and business officers will be at the front.
Happy 50th anniversary, NACUBO.
Happy 50th anniversary, NACUBO.
Happy 50th anniversary, NACUBO.
And I wish you a very happy 50th anniversary.
Happy 50th anniversary, NACUBO.
Happy 50th anniversary, NACUBO.
Happy 50th anniversary, NACUBO.
Happy 50th anniversary, NACUBO. Aloha and mahalo for everything that you do for higher education.